folks, welcome back to Gale Force Winds. I am in HRPP's office in Labrador City, and I'm sitting with one of their longest term employees. I guess that's how I would classify you, as an employee of the company, would we? Yes.
Yeah.
Tell us, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your journey.
Well, my name is Dave Gulliford. I've been with HRPP pretty much from day one. I've pretty close to 9 years here now. A little bit about my journey. I was born in Buckens, Newfoundland, so I grew up in a mining town. Very familiar with mining operations and that. So my career, I've been a manager in a couple different mines up on startup now. My journey took me to New Brunswick, where I worked in the shipbuilding business. I've been in the oil business, and the commercial business, hospitals, schools, and things like that, and management. But it always seems to come back to mining, and here I am.
Yeah. Well, Buckens has a storied history. I mean, what year would the Buckens mine have started? I'm putting you on the spot here now.
I think I'm saying the late 30s.
Yeah.
And Buckens was a model mining town. So back then, I mean, Buckens had indoor plumbing, septic systems, water, schools, hospitals. It was owned and operated by a company called ASARCO, American Smelting and Refining Company. I mean, my dad worked there for almost 30 years as an electrician underground. I started there as an apprentice electrician underground as well, right? So there's a lot of history there. I worked at another mine for 10 years in the maintenance side of it in Duck Pond with Tech Resources. So
interesting.
The journeys, and also in Shefferville. I worked in Shefferville, which led me to the iron ore industry, which is where I'm at now.
So your dad was an electrician, you're an apprentice electrician, you went on to become an electrician?
Yes.
And then into the management side of things. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I started I worked through my journeyman's electrician and different tickets in the marine industry, the construction, industrial. I ended up more or less, the interest became in the industrial automation side of the electrical field, I guess. And from there, I morphed into a management, as the years went by. I became a maintenance manager at some of the mines and that. And when myself and Jackie when we got to know each other, I was currently working as a maintenance manager in Shefferville with Tata Steel, and the price of ore dropped and things back then, and this opportunity came up, and I had a conversation with Jackie, and right from the get-go, I could see this was going to work out.
Yeah.
Us, right?
And 9 years later, so you joked that you're going to give it a try for 6 months, I think you said?
Yeah, I had a contract for 6 months here. And the intent was to go back to my previous job. And 1 6 month led to another and kept going from there, right?
Yeah.
So, it was interesting. Startups, and it doesn't matter. Sometimes I'm what you call a startup. It's the fun in the startup that is created. Like starting up a brand new mine. I've been fortunate to be on a couple of those.
Yeah.
And the word startup interests me with Jackie and what she was starting here, and I could see that she could provide this service for IOC at the time, and still. And we grew from there, from 2-3 people to more people, more vehicles, more contracts, and having a good reputation, supporting IOC, which is what we do. That's our role here, right?
Yeah.
In many different facets of professionals in there, right?
So what is it that you do in the day-to-day? Your day-to-day function is what?
My role, I'm in sustaining engineering. I'm a project coordinator with that department, right? So we work on capital projects for IOC. We follow what we like, say it's a PMP framework. We go through order of magnitude, PFS, feasibility. My role is to take that through execution, close out, make sure everything is there for the IOC personnel at the end of the day to do their job, right?
Interesting.
So, yeah.
And you've been doing that role for 9 years? Or
Yeah.
Yeah. So
9 years for that role in the management department, in a project management department. Yeah.
So a 6-month contract that's lasted for 9 years says a lot about HR Project Partners. Tell us what HR Project Partners means to you.
The first thing that comes to mind, and myself and Jackie had conversation, is we tend to forget that we help a lot of people in our roles. We are, the changes that we've made in people's lives is sometimes we forget about. We help get somebody hired, either with companies like IOC or other companies. And I've met people 5 years down the road, and couples, they're married, they just bought a house, and in some little way we had a little piece of that, helping them, provide them the path, the career to sustain their goals and what they want to do in life. And sometimes you run into somebody and they got 5 or 6 years in now, and I enjoy that part, right? That's one thing I enjoy about this company. I enjoy the personalities that are in the company itself. It's truly enjoyable. You can call up anybody at the office, and you can have great conversations, and it's work related or not work related, right? We used to. I remember through the COVID, the pandemic, we would have 5 o'clock somewhere Teams meetings, right?
Yeah.
Where we didn't drink alcohol as such, but we would have, somebody have a pet or something. They would bring in a little, it's something from their lifestyle. Everybody could see it, right? So it's good camaraderie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a nice endorsement, Dave. One of the last questions I want to ask you, you've been around the block, you've been in various roles. What piece of advice would you give to a young prospective person thinking about the mining career or any other career for that matter?
I think one of the things you should do is research it. Research it, because there's so many, especially in the mining, if we're talking mining, there's a lot of mines in the north. There's a lot of startup mines. There's a lot of mines that's existing. It depends, for a young person, if somebody asks me and say, try and know what you want to do. From an operation side, is that what you do? Is that what you want to do? From a project management side, is that what you want to do? I think you should research, know what you want to do, and just go for it. Companies like HRPP can pull that out of candidates. I mean, young and old. We've had people here that have a lot of experience. We say, hey, I think you can do this, right? Based on your experience, right?
Yeah. That's great, Dave. I can say this, Gale Force Winds, we've interviewed about 2,500 people. What you don't know is that we were interrupted 3 times. We're sitting in a very busy office, and this man didn't flinch. He just said, we're on take 3 now. So, Dave, absolute pleasure meeting you, and I thank you for joining us on Gale Force Winds.
It's a pleasure. Thank you.